Hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So I am over here. We are unboxing the brand new M4 MacBook Air. So we've got two different versions that I want to show you, and let me get that right now. And while we were at the Apple Store too, we we're also looking at some of the MacBooks that they did have, and they did look very pretty. They had the 13 and the 15, but first up right here, we've got this right here. This is the 13-inch MacBook Air. You can see that right there in sky blue. The color is actually on the box, and it does look very pretty in store. Like many reviewers have said, it is a very subtle shade. It is a subtle color of sky blue, but let's get to unboxing it right now. I think you've all seen these hundreds of times, but here we go. So set that aside. Easily comes open, and let us take a look at this. First things first, you have the actual computer right here wrapped in this paper, and then you've got the cable right here. The cable is such a subtle light blue, so subtle, but it is pretty. The MagSafe cable, beautiful MagSafe braided cable. In addition, you get the paperwork right here, and we also get this right here. This looks like a nice brick. This does not look like the double brick, but this is a 30 watt power adapter right here in this brick. We're just going to put that away. Put all this aside because we're really here for this guy right here. So let's open it up. Look at that. That is pretty. Very light. So we've got some dark lighting here where we're at right now, and you can tell this is a subtle shade of blue, just like that blue on that braided cable. It is very subtle. Take a look right here on the side. You've got the Thunderbolt 4 ports right here and the MagSafe. Take a look at that. And then on this side right here, you have got the headphone jack right there. But yeah, very pretty. And what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna open it up. Wow, there it is. Very. So when I open it up, the first thing I notice is it looks bluer. So take a look at the keyboard right there. The keyboard, the trackpad, it does look more blue, which is kind of amazing because it should be the same shade. But here we are with the setup, and let's put this away for right now. All right, we're back. Have that one kind of put away, but we also got this one right here. This is the 15-inch MacBook Air, also in sky blue. You can see this, and let us get this unboxed. It is definitively a much bigger box, as it should be, because it is a bigger computer. No less satisfying to do that. All right, let's pop this open right now. So I'm not going to show you the same accessories because you do get the same braided cable, that same sky blue braided cable, same paperwork, but let us take a look at this and get this popped open. Take a look at this right here. This is indeed bigger. It is blue. That very light blue in the sky blue. Let's get this again popped open. There we go. and you can tell in the footprint, this is definitively a much bigger computer. This immersive 15-inch screen as opposed to the 13-inch screen. Again, it just does seem more blue on the inside. It shouldn't, but it does, and looks very, very pretty. So right now we got to get these set up, but I can tell you, and I can hear the other one with the voice going off, the voice prompts telling me to press a button. And this one will too, but we are gonna get these set up. But right off the bat, these are both very, very nice. Color is subtle. It is a nice light. It is definitively a sky blue, looks bluer on the inside than it does the outside, but I know that is just an effect because they're both the same color, but they look very, very nice, very, very pretty. And let me actually get the other one just so you have an idea of what these two look like right next to each other. 13 right here, 15 right here, and look at the size difference. Take a look at that. But yeah, definitively the 15 is much bigger than the 13. And one more thing is we also have cases for these. So the cases on the M2, M3, and M4 should all fit. We've got them for both the 13 and the 15. So we will get a case on those. I do not have the palm rest protectors because these are such a new color. The sky blue color is still not out as of recording this, which is on launch day. Hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So to give you a little bit of context, we've got the 15-inch M4 Air right here. We've got the 13-inch M4 Air also right here. And then we've got the 16-inch M4 Pro MacBook Pro right here. And I don't think I can get a wide enough shot, but you can see here the smallest of the bunch right here is actually the 13. And then if I bring this closer here, you can actually see that the 15 is substantially much bigger than the 13. Maybe you can't see that, but I'm gonna move the 13 out of the way, and I'm gonna put the 15 and the 16-inch right next to each other. And I know we've got different backgrounds. You've got the welcome screen on here because I have not yet set these up, and then on the other side you have got the screensaver right here on the 16-inch. But you can see here that these two really do resemble each other a little bit more in size than the 13. So anybody out there looking might be thinking, well, you know what, instead of getting the 15, I'm just going to get a 14-inch MacBook Pro. But I would equate the 14-inch MacBook Pro a lot to the 13-inch M4 Air. And yes, it does want me to set it up, but yeah, I would equate the 14-inch MacBook Pro to the 13-inch Air and the 15 to the 16. So the argument would be, hey, you've got 120 Hertz ProMotion, you've got mini LED in the 14-inch M4 Pro, you've got better contrast levels. Sure, yes, you do, you've got all that, but you've just got a bigger screen in the 15-inch MacBook Air. It's hands down, it is the bigger screen, period. Yes, these computers do want to be set up, which I'm going to do that right now, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Again, this is just an initial impression. We're going to go through the other stuff here very shortly. All right, Mom and Dad Meet World. So we've got these configured right now to where they've been initially set up. I've got Apple ID loaded on both of them. I can't guarantee it's going to be all initialized and ready to go with peak performance, but for the initial impressions, I was very curious on the 256 gig base model. That is this model right here. So 256 gigs baseline storage on this particular model right here. And on this one, this is the 512 gig with the M4 MacBook Air. This is the 15-inch. So 15-inch, 24 gigs of memory on this one, 13-inch baseline, 16 gigs of memory, 256 gigs of storage. Earlier with the M2, so it didn't matter whether or not you got the 13 or the 15-inch M2, that M2's 256 gig base model had one single NAND chip. They made that right with the M3, but let's see what they're doing here with the M4. Just got this downloaded, so Blackmagic's disk speed test. We're gonna run them both and see how they hold up. So initially, you're getting about 1900 on the right, 3200 on the right with the higher capacity one, and 2700 on the read, 2900 here on the read, and we are just going. So looks like on the write speed, so this is assuming that everything is already initialized and set up, nothing else is taking up the background resource. It looks like for the write and the read speed, this is coming in. So the 15-inch, let's take a look at this right here. So you can see this right here. So 3100 and almost 3000 megabytes per second on the write, and almost 3000 on the read that you can see here. A little over 3000 on the write actually. So that is that one right there. And then with this particular computer, so they were started at around the same time. This is pinging about 1000 on the write, and then 2500 on the read. There has got to be some background task going on the 13-inch. That's all I can think about, because the write speed is just very, very low, and to me that does not compute. And I know this is the 256 gig base model, but that write speed should not be that low. I will test this again later. All right, Mom and Dad Meet World. So this has just been the initial impression, first impression right here on these two computers, the 13-inch M4 Air MacBook Air base model, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and then the bigger one, the 15-inch M4 Air, 24 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage. So these are both fast, competent computers. I will let you know a little bit more when we actually have everything loaded. We actually have a little bit of Final Cut. We've got a little bit of Sony Catalyst Browse. That is going to be for later. But right now I wanted to initially see how much slower, if any, the 13-inch was for the disk speed test, and the 13-inch is a little bit slower, or should I say a tad bit slower, on the write specifically for the 256 gig base model. That does not deter me from recommending this computer for just about everybody looking for a computer. Will you ever notice it in day-to-day use? Probably not, depending on what you are doing, but the sky blue color is subtle, but it does look very, very nice. It is quite, I've seen quite a few people say it is subtle, it's almost not even existent, but in this particular light, so this is a bit on the warmer side of light, the blue does stand out. But I imagine if you are in bright sunlight where you get a little bit cooler light, I imagine it will look a little bit more like silver. But for right now, the first impressions on these are great. Does not change my opinion one bit. We'll have to get everything loaded to see which particular model we will be keeping ourselves, again, just as a companion to this model right here. This is the big boy right here. This is our 16-inch M4 Pro MacBook Pro, but for airplane wise, for a little bit more of that lighter travel, one of these will have to do. I am leaning towards the 13 that you see here right next to me, just based on size, because as I said, the footprint on the 15, even though it is much, much lighter and super duper thin, you can't compete with the footprint of the 13. And yes, I know that the M4 MacBook Pro is also available for just a few hundred more, and you do get that SD card reader, an extra Thunderbolt 4 port, and then you also get that 120 Hz ProMotion mini LED screen. However, it is just a little bit thicker, it is just a little bit bigger, and if I wanted a little bit bigger and thicker, I would just bring along our big boy right here in the 16-inch, which I do absolutely love this machine, but just something a little bit more portable. I'm thinking of sticking towards the 13-inch. Yes, 13-inch base model, because it is a heck of a deal, sub 1,000, sub 900 if you can get it for the student price. and it is very much so available, and they will just go on sale later on down the road as these are out more and more. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. More videos coming up. This is just our initial impression. We just got these today, just set them up today, paid for these out of our own pocket. Apple did not give us these. They didn't give us some souped up models or souped up configured models. We just got our hands on these that you are actually watching us right now. So we got to set these up a little bit more, but okay, I'm stopping. Ramble's done. All right, bye for now. Thanks for watching.